All right, welcome back to the show. This is Arena 36 plus 1, your political and current affairs show. And it's coming to you from the stables of Boss FM 95.5 Abuja, the station that knows the news and entertainment. And that's because we have the Bossy Staff of Authority based on special standards. Today in the arena, we would be discussing something, like I said, that is very, very pertinent. It's very, very important to us as a country. It's important to our development as a nation, and of course it's important to our well-being as a people. And that will be under the discussion, sustaining women and girls in science leadership. That's what we're going to be looking at today on the show. Now, Sunday, February 11, that's this coming Sunday, would be marking the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And of course, when we talk about science, we're talking about science, we're talking about technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's been acronymed STEM. Now, let's let you know that women are typically given smaller research grants, than male. And that's the way things are. That's the truth of the matter. However, we also see that even female researchers tend to be paid lesser than their male counterparts. And this is not just happening in Nigeria, but in the world. But let me let you understand also that in every 10 professionals, or in every 5 professionals you see in the artificial intelligence world at the moment, you just find one woman in that. That is making a meager percentage of about 22%, which is still way behind. But this is not to discourage the women, but to encourage them to do more when it comes to this. And interestingly, we are having women that are taking the bull by the horn, and of course they are not stopping at anything to make sure that they show the world what we are made of as women. And so today on the show, we're going to be looking at how to sustain these gains that we've gotten so far as a people, as a country, as a nation, and also look at some of the challenges that is being faced by women in this field, as we try as much as possible to encourage girls to take up these responsibilities and run with it. With me in the studio, I have 2 beautiful, amazing bosses, and of course doing great things in their chosen field, in this STEM community. I have Boss Maimuna Sani Magaji, who is the Community Engagement and Communications Director of the Nigeria Youth Futures Funds. A very good morning to you, boss.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
And interestingly is the fact that she's got roots in ICT.
Yes, I do.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
You're going to tell us your story,
Okay.
You tell us why you got to that, but how does it feel being on the show though?
Like I said, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited. It's the International Day for Women in ICT and STEM in general. I'm very excited. This is a very significant day that should gain the recognition because it deserves. We have so many women filling up the spaces, and we deserve to be celebrated so that we can encourage the younger generation to take up spaces in this field.
Thank you very much. And also with me in the studio, I have Boss Fatima Hussaini. She is of course another very amazing boss, I must say, and of course she's a girl in STEM advocate. Interestingly, she's studying chemical engineering, chemical, right? Or civil engineering. Okay, yeah, civil engineering, and she's the only female in her class. How does it feel being here this morning?
Feels great. Well, actually, I'm not the only.
Okay, you're not the only female. All right.
Yeah, but where I'm currently doing my IT,
the only
basically the only
female.
female
Oh,
right
nice.
now. But we're like 5 out of 49. in my
49.
class.
Wow.
So that's the number. Yeah. So it feels great to be here. I'm excited, and I'm happy that we are finally gaining some kind of voice about this. About girls being in STEM, because I believe that this is a very important aspect that even the government needs to do more about. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm excited about this. Yeah.
All right, so it's time to get into the conversation, and of course, like I said earlier, we're going to start, by asking you, let me ask you, let me start with you, Boss Mimuna. Why did you ever decide to go into ICT to start with? Because I mean, even in the secondary school those days, you have more female moving towards the arts class. You say, I don't like mathematics, I don't like this, so why ICT? Why technology?
Okay, so I would like to say that my story is a very funny one.
Okay.
Because I never liked mathematics.
Okay.
Yes, it was one of those subjects that gave me trouble in school. So like every other girl, every other family, Nigerian family, first choice is medicine, second choice is pharmacy. So yes, so those were my choices, and fortunately, not unfortunately, actually, fortunately, I didn't get admission to study any of those courses, and I got admission to study mathematics.
Wow.
Yes, so it was a major challenge, and that I had to take on. So I had to do the extra work, attended tutorials, just to pick up, and so like, I don't know if you're aware, but math, statistics, and computer science are all
relative
in the same department. So yeah, so along the line, I was able to switch to computer science, and after graduation, I picked interest in databases. So I went on to do courses in Oracle, and just a young girl trying to explore that space. Later on, I picked on interest in web development, so I went on to learn HTML, CSS,
Wow.
and all of those skills. And so after my NYSC, I got a job, and fortunately, to teach ICT in a private school here in Abuja, and the rest is history.
History. Amazing. That's amazing. Having to want to study medicine and then you're given mathematics. I think I can relate. Okay, so what was your story, Boss Fatima?
Okay, so from my mom, we're just 2 girls.
Okay.
And so then there was this patriarchy thing where if you don't have a male in your family, they don't really regard you in that sense. So I caught the info at a little age. So I
you're
was
not
like,
making the tomboy.
I was the first girl from my mom. Yeah, I'm the first girl from my mom. I'm like, why is it like that? What can these guys do that I can't? What can these guys do that I can't do? So at that time, I have a brother. I have step siblings actually. My brother was studying engineering then, and I didn't know then. So I asked my mom, "What's my brother studying?" Because I was like a bookworm then. So I felt like, okay, if they don't see this ability in me, I can prove it to them with my books, my studies, and all of that. So I asked what was my brother studying. He said engineering. So I said, okay, what do engineers do? And my mom just gave a brief explanation. Okay, they're the ones that construct bridges. And I'm like, that was when I started gaining interest in STEM. So right from then, I think I was in primary 2, 1 or so, I can't remember. So right from then, I just had that knowing that this was the route I was going to. So in primary 3, they would do this career, they'll ask questions in class. What do you want to be? Everybody in my class, doctor, I want to be a doctor. I was just saying, even though we didn't know exactly what was we didn't know exactly what those careers entailed, but I just said engineering. I was like, they'll be like, why? I said, I don't even like blood safe. I'll just use that. I don't even like blood. So engineering has been there since primary 3. So I started doing my research right from primary school, and I had like been on that course up until now. So that's my story basically. Wow. And I've not lost interest ever since.
So like of all engineerings, I mean, there are other ones. You could have decided to be an architect, like you just sit down and be drawing the drawings. Like you said, civil, like you will be the one doing the construction.
Actually, I am interested in buildings. Like when I'm traveling and going on the road, like I'm like, what's behind? What's the mind? Who's the mind behind this building? Like I've always been interested in buildings. Like I want to know how this came about, how this thing came about. So I was like, okay, because at first it was confusing which to go for. Mechanical, I was like, this one.
You're still looking at this ding.
I was like, no. But civil just stuck with me, and that has been it. Yeah. So since primary school, civil has. Yeah.
So let me ask you. You talked about patriarchal system, where you're coming from, you know, which is one of the challenges women face in taking up those positions.
Sure.
For you, did you get encouragement?
Yeah, I did. I got encouragement from my mom, because she was the one that even introduced me to the whole thing. So my mom, even my immediate family have been like very encouraging. It's just the society and all of that. So I was just, would I say, sharp enough to catch this patriarchy thing that was going on, and then I used it to my advantage to explore this field that I am in. But my family have been supportive and they have been encouraging. Like my dad, my mom, they've been encouraging. But it's just the family, and when you're going into society and different communities where you don't see you don't get that kind of encouragement from home. So it's very important to hold on to what they've told you, like hold on to those encouragements from home.
So now you said, which even goes to buttress the point I made at the beginning, that about just 1 in 5 is what you find.
Yes.
You said you're 5 out of 49.
That's just my
That's
department.
just your department.
Yeah.
How has it been? What is it like? What messages do you get, especially from the males in that class? What was it like? What has it been like?
Okay, so going there, starting off, you just have to have that bold front at first, because you don't know what you're expecting. But when I got in, I thank God for male friends that have that same mindset. But there are some guys that would say, when they're talking about girls, they'll say they don't have girls in the class. So they look at us as guys. So they see us as guys too. So it's just the thing. So we just relate with them as bros, and that's how it is in my class. So there is no, this is a girl, she can. It's if you want to say, okay, I'm just going to stay like that, but we relate as bros.
As bros.
Yeah.
I like that, actually. And that's your IT place, your workplace.
Yeah.
How is it being the only girl?
Okay, so
don't they pamper you and say, no, don't do this, don't do that? Because
so we're actually not in my group of
your team.
My team. We were not. It was not just me. So we're actually 2, and one just left back to complete her final year. And I'm just the one. And recently I just had an experience with it. So we're doing because we were rounding up, and we went for a hangout. It was just me and 5 other guys in the hangout. So I did a video about it, and it just I think there is that little empathy from guys, but it doesn't stop me from expressing myself. I know there is that empathy sometimes, but I know that I have something valuable to contribute to whatever they are saying. So that's what has been carrying me through. So it does not matter I didn't go there because of so that they'll pity me, and I know what I have. And something people don't understand is civil engineering or STEM courses is not just physical work. So why some girls don't go into it is because they feel like it's more of physical. I know girls want to live the soft life and all of that, so they wouldn't want to go there, but they don't get that most of the work is actually from the mind, because whatever you want in your hand start from the mind. So those people that are creating amazing buildings, like, they start from the mind. They thought of it first. So every girl, everybody, we all have brains. So you can't tell me that you did not think of something. It's only guys that think of something great. So that mindset has been with me. I have something that the world needs in my field. So I don't, whether you pity me or don't pity me, I know that I have something as a girl. It doesn't matter. We all have brains, so it's not that the guys have brains and all of that. So that has been it for me. So I don't really look at it as, okay, I'm the only girl and all of that. But there's sometimes though where I'll feel, would I say, lonely sometimes, because there's sometimes I want to do some things or say some things. There was a time I was on my period. And then it's just the guys. Thank God for my friend, the only girl that just left. I was lucky enough to get part from her. Imagine she wasn't around, and then I'm just here. I'm trying. How do I explain to you? And there are just some things that you can relate to better with girls. That's why more girls need to be there, so we can relate better.
But we're going to talk more on that. But let's get to you, Boss Memuna. I am still like, I'll give you kudos. I started my story. I started websites. I love to put hands on things though. I tried a website too. I don't pump. Like at the point we're like, okay, you can actually just do the design part. Just design the website. Don't get to the side where you have to weave and all that. Just design the front part, the interface, and you're good to go. At the point I ran away from it. Not thinking of you, had to learn Oracle, learn all those data processing and all that. How was it for you? Like, how were you able to, didn't you feel like, these codes are just too much, I cannot just put them in? Starting from the part that you studied mathematics, now I have a little bit idea of that part, because at one point I did a bit of statistics. So I know what it was like for you to have studied mathematics. All the dy, dx, and all those, they just keep going and going. You're studying one question, you have the whole board filled up. How were you able to cope with that?
Okay. So just to say that, so there's something about, I don't want to use the word passion. When you know that this is something you have to get done, so you do whatever it takes to get it done. Right. So at that time, I was exploring Oracle and then did the web development, particularly the front end.
Okay.
I was testing the waters, just trying to understand where my interest truly is, because in school you learn practically everything. Yes. So that was the point where I was, testing to see where my interest truly lies. And honestly, I don't regret it, because along the line, as I grow, I find myself, going back to those basics and all of those experiences, applying it in my day-to-day work. Sometimes while I am not currently in that sector, I work in the social development sector now. Sometimes you have you're waiting on the IT department to do something for you, and you're just able to do it, and they're surprised.
I can relate.
Oh,
yes,
you're able to do
this. Like, okay,
yeah,
she can do it.
Yes. So I think I like to say that STEM, particularly technology, is a necessity, is a necessary skill that we all need to have. If you look at even the workspace generally, you have to leverage on technology to get your work done. So we cannot even run away from it. So whatever we study, whatever our background is, we have to hone a skill in ICT or in technology to be able to excel in our various works.
Wow, that's an amazing one there. Now let's look at some of the challenges that we're facing in Nigeria. For you, what Boss Fatima mentioned the fact that say having girls like me, in the same sphere has a way of encouraging me. We can help each other as support system. But why are we not having many girls? Going good to say that the girls now. Let's be frank and sincere. The girls now, most girls are picking up this interest. Maybe because the space is now looking more attractive, so they're picking up more interest. But what happened to the women? I mean, they seem to be left behind. Even to handle phone, you will see, I beg, I'm not there for this one, our technology. Maybe I just make my call and go. And she's holding a big phone and she can't use it to do nothing. So how do we begin to build that interest? What are those challenges?
Okay, so I'd like to begin from, say, where we are right now. There is a growing interest and recognition for the importance of these skills, particularly for women. I was so happy when I saw that the new Minister for Information and Digital Economy,
Innovation.
launch this initiative for young people to learn skills, and then later on they will be, I think there is a plan for them to transition into workspaces. It's a very great one. I don't have the statistics, but I know that there was special consideration for women to enroll in that program. So I think that's a big step in the right direction, and the recognition is growing. I mean, we're not where we are in the 90s or the early 2000s. Recently I got to know that the director of information technology at the CBN is a woman. So that's a great one. Talking about the challenges, I know that there are challenges, and these challenges persist. We have cultural barriers, limited access to education. I recall that even after having studied computer science, I had to enroll in a particular institution to learn the Oracle. To learn, I had to enroll in a virtual program to learn the skills, the practical skills. We were taught some of those things, but not as
in-depth.
So I had to enroll, I had to learn, I had to take up challenges. I had to even identify mentors, people I would always run to say, hey, this code is not working, how do I debug this, so that is very critical. So I would say that the challenges are there, but there are ways for us to move forward.
Do you think there are more challenges? I mean, you are still growing up in this, and I mean, you're seeing these things hands on. Do you think there are still more challenges that we need to fix?
Well, I believe there are. But something I believe is it like I always say, it all starts with the mind.
Okay.
I was telling Boss Maimuna earlier that when I'm in class, sometimes girls they find it hard when they ask questions. They do not want to stand up to even answer these questions. So there's this self-esteem issue.
Okay.
So there are challenges. Firstly, you have to know what you want. So you can't just be someone that is not interested in maybe, or don't even have little knowledge on this, and then you're going into engineering, because I noticed that some people just throw themselves into there. So you have to, first of all, one of the challenges girls face right now is they don't even have a reason, they don't have a why they are there, so they're just there. And also the community, the country that we are in, I'm still looking for a mentor in engineering.
Wow.
In like my field, civil engineering, basically, I have mentors in other aspects. I have mentors, people that I look up to. For someone that has walked the walk I'm walking, like the path I'm walking in, I haven't seen anyone. So it's that bad. There are no people, there are no mentors, and I wouldn't say there are no female engineers. They are, but we don't really see them. So one of the challenges is that female, not necessarily engineers, but women in STEM those that have done, like, accomplished a lot, don't really put themselves out there for us to see. I struggled with that a lot. So I don't know what the reason is, but I would really appreciate if women come out, those ones that have, done great things, come out. I see them, I see foreign people that I look up to, women in STEM. They're on social media. Role models. I look up, like, I check there, I connect with them, but then they're outside the country. I don't really get to see those ones in our country. So I think this would be a call to, like, engineers, like older people, our bosses up there. Like, we want to look up, like, we need people that we want to look up to. So that's one thing I see. There are no role models, and also there are no communities for us. So I'm currently I am some friends, they're just even guys too. I'm the only lady there. We came up with a community just to encourage engineers in my department, just to encourage them in my department to come forth. And to our greatest, I'm not even surprised, there are no ladies in the coming in. So I don't know the problem. So I think if there are more communities created by these role models for us to, be involved in, if there are platforms for us to grow in, that would be great. So one of the challenges, our bosses up there are not coming out to tell us that, okay, this is what they have done, and this is how you can do it. There are no mentors, there are no communities for us to thrive in. So yeah, those are the challenges.
Okay, so please, our bosses up there, just like what Fatima said, the female, it's time for you to come out. We want to see more of you, so that it can encourage more ladies to come into the place. And we have a Ministry of Women Affairs. For you, Boss Mimuna, do you think that of course, we know that the fresh administration just started, and of course, that ministry is being led right now by Uju Kennedy. Do you think that so much has been done so far to encourage, and what do you think the way forward should be like?
Okay, so from my own lens, I would say that in order for us to achieve this, in order to encourage more women to go into STEM and technology-related fields, there's an urgent need for interministerial collaboration. Say the Ministry of Science and Tech is not doing its intervention independently. They're leveraging the Ministry of Women Affairs, they're leveraging the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, and ensuring that they're not even duplicating these efforts. So there's an urgent need for that synergy between these ministries. I mean, we also have a Ministry of Youth, in addition to that. So
it's been headed by a female too.
By a female. So it'll be very interesting, it's going to be very beneficial to the country if these ministries are even coming together to say, what are the initiatives you have? Let's put all of this in the table. Where are they overlapping? And finding a solution. Yeah.
Now we have of course, good to know that both of you didn't really face difficulties from family points, stopping you from achieving this. However, we are still having that. The patriarchy that Boss Fatima talked about is still very strong in some places. And if I stand to be corrected, but even in the north, it is really strong, because we hardly even see girls being allowed to go to school to start with. Not to talk of gaining the attraction. Because for Boss Fatima, if you didn't have to go to school, you might not be even be talking about wanting to study whatever you want to study. So what's your call to those families, those a set of people that have actually held on to patriarchy for so long and is affecting, you know, this reality that we're looking at? Let me start with you, Boss Mimuna.
Okay, so I think that narrative is changing.
Okay.
And yes, we have seen significant improvement. We have young people, young women, even in the north, you know, taking up remote jobs and working from the comfort of their homes. They're able to, with access to internet, they're able to take courses online without even having to leave their homes, which is usually one of the major challenge with women. Okay. You know, in the north, having to mix with the opposite gender and being all out there. So that is changing. We have seen significant improvement in that regard. And for me, sincerely, I didn't experience any of that challenge. Thankfully, I have very supportive parents. My parents are very supportive, and at the time, they were even the ones actually pushing me out there. Yes, I remember. The week I returned from school after graduation, my dad asked, "So what's next?" So you can imagine that level of, you know, support that I got. So my story is different. Like I said, I have very supportive parents. I was lucky to have that direction, you know, right after school, to be able to explore, you know, those spaces, found my interests, and, you know, found my way in that sector.
Boss Fatima, you have anything to add to that?
So because I know a lot of girls are struggling with that, like you said, I'll just say find a space that feeds your interest, because there are some schools that have like clubs, like secondary schools that have clubs, so you can start with that. It's hard. Like I've spoken with girls and I always encourage them, your family does not encourage you. You have that responsibility now. It's not going to be easy, but you have that responsibility to, you know, start that, building that mindset from yourself, and then involve or include yourself in spaces like friends that have same mindset. So that can help, because friends go a long way. It's very important to pick the kind of, so it from family. If family is not helping, you can jump to the society you're in. That space can you know, help, but just know what you're doing, and yeah, that's it.
So what are your recommendations now for sustaining the, you know, the progress so far? I'm glad to know that I mean, from the last year we celebrated this to this point, we've gained a lot. Let's be frank and sincere. So, but next thing we're looking at is sustainability, because of course that's what the world is talking about now. We're not just talking about doing the do, but sustaining the do. So for you, what are your recommendations for sustaining this gains, so that by the time we're talking about this next year, I'm sure by the time I bring Boss Fatima back, we should be hearing that, oh, I finally got a mentor and I've been able to mentor one or two persons also, you know. So what is it for you?
My recommendation would be, like I mentioned earlier, mentorship is very important. So I'm still emphasizing on that for the bosses out there in that field. Please come out and try, just make yourself available, because this is a very crucial aspect in our society. Try to, you know, make that sacrifice, make yourself available for these young girls to look up to and, you know, follow that path. And also for girls that, like me, that were still looking for, you know, mentors in that exact field, I would say do not limit yourself to mentors in that, like whatever you are, you know, thriving for. I would say that you should also look out for other people, that other women that are doing well. I'm sure there is something you can learn. You can learn leadership, you can learn resilience from other women. So I feel, I know that they would help. So you should look out for mentors in those spaces, and also build your mindset with the mentality of you being a role model too. So as you're growing as you're, learning, you should have that mindset that someday other girls are going to, because I'm not seeing anyone, there are no women out there for them to look up to. So how about I start building myself as someone that other girls will look up to? So from there, it's promote that sustainability. It doesn't just die there at like just my level. So from me being a role model, raising other girls, they being role models too, and so.
All right, Boss Mimuna.
Okay, so I would say sustaining the gains made so far requires ongoing commitment and investment in initiatives that support women and girls in ICT and largely the STEM. This includes funding, coming up with training programs and initiatives that would create these opportunities that will make them available to women and young girls. Also providing inclusive workspaces that would allow women and enable them to thrive in that sector.
Wow, amazing. But let me say that gender equality has been a core issue, and of course what we're looking at is trying to close that gap. There is a significant gender gap throughout all levels of science, technology, engineering, mathematics that makes up the STEM, and the goal is to close that gap. And so as we join the world to celebrate this year's International Women's and Girls in Science Day, it is high time that we justify this call by making it true. Thank you so very much, Boss Muna Sani Magaji.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so very much for coming. And Boss Fatima Oseni, your story has been inspiring, I must say that.
Thank you.
And well, Boss, is the much we'll take on Arena 36+1 today. Another one will be coming your way tomorrow, so make sure that you stay glued to your set. But today's Throwback Thursday, so make sure you enjoy the beautiful songs that will be coming from the Boss Station today. Until we come your way again, have a splendid day. Stay bossed. I am Peace Organic Bawe, and I'm signing out of the arena. Stay bossed.